welcome to a new episode of Frederique Knits and Spins. My name is Frederique, my channel is called Frederique Knits, and I am a spinner, knitter and all-around wool lover from County Wicklow in Ireland. I have started recording YouTube videos in, I think it was August or September last year, and even though I might not be posting every month, I really enjoy making these YouTube podcasts for you because I just absolutely love talking about wool and working with wool. So this episode is going to be all about the process going from sheep's fleece, a raw sheep's fleece, to a skein of yarn, and all the different steps that are required to clean that fleece, to wash it and to process it, basically comb it, card it and pick all the dirty bits out until you get a lovely skein of yarn like this. This one is from a Suffolk sheep that was grazing in the field next door. My neighbour Tom gave me a white fleece, but he also gave me a brown fleece and a process how to clean that brown fleece. That's the one that I've recorded and that you are going to see now. You will find subtitles below because sometimes the sound was a little bit soft. I have recorded most of what I did outside because cleaning something like that, it's handier to do that outside than inside. And the subtitles will hopefully help you hear a bit better because sometimes the wind was a bit too loud for my speaking. I will definitely get one of those handy microphones that I see all around. So anyway, enjoy the next couple of videos and I'll tell you a little bit more about the results. Sorting job done. As you can see, this is everything that I'm going to discard, and what is on the table is not the best wool, and I'll show you why. Some of it is beautifully soft, but it's so short. See, it's only, I'd say, 8-9 centimeter max, and for spinning you'd love something that is at least 10 to 12 centimeters. See, there's even short bits here, so I probably have to discard a little bit more. But anyway, I have a nice little bit of a mix. I am going to sort it a little bit further so that I have the dark brown fibers and the lighter fibers, which is the softer that I have that separated, and then I can blend it. So I am going to do that now, and then I'm going to fill up a big bucket with rainwater, or 2 buckets with rainwater, and put it in so that it can soak for a day or 2 until I'm going to wash it with hot water. So there are the next steps. Day 2 of the wool prep. I put these 2 buckets, I filled these with water yesterday. The wool has been soaking for 24 hours in rainwater and I know I could put it in here for another couple of days, but I'd like to proceed with it. So I'm going to take it out now and put it on this empty bucket. I have a couple of gabion box handy things here on the top, and I'm just going to take the wool out. I'll start with the dark brown one. The water is nice and dirty, and I'm just going to lift it up. That's the worst soak, and I'm just going to leave it to drain here and do that with the rest. A lot of dirt is coming out. That's great because it's all natural. going to do the same with the whiter wool, and then after that I'm going to give it a wash in a little bit of hot water and detergent for this next step. So just to show you how dirty that water was, this is the first wash of both pools. So this was the rainwater. I'm going to put this on the garden because that's great fertilizer. The wool is here. Apologies for the noise in the background. I have some people in the swimming pool here. So this is the lighter ones and this is the darker ones, and actually it has come out pretty clean and it's beautifully soft. Just the feel of it when I took it out of the water is already really nice. So yeah, I'm going to proceed with this and I'll show you what the next step is. So in this bucket here you'll see hot water and there is some e-cover in there. So I'm just going to put my wool that was only washed in rainwater. I'm going to soak it in here for 30 minutes. It's hot water, well, as hot as I can get it from my shower. I'm just going to leave it here. There's a bit of sunshine, so that's great. Put the lid on so it stays a bit warmer, and I'm going to put this at it so that the wind doesn't reduce the temperature too much and too quickly. Now I'm going to get my second bucket. Right, 30 minutes have passed, just about. So I'm going to have a look at the first bit. You can see the water is whitish, it's not very dirty. This is the lighter wool, so that's from closer to the skin of the sheep. So it makes sense that that is not so dirty because it would not be exposed to a lot of the elements, and also there would not be an awful lot of vegetable matter in there, or less than the outer wool, which is the darker. Nonetheless, it is still quite, well, it is dirty. I'll show you. It is super soft. I'm actually delighted. This is the water. It does look quite dirty. So that's going to be discarded. I can't use that on the garden because even though I used e-cover, I'm not sure if it is so healthy to use that in the garden. So I'll just, I could, you know, scrub the patio with that. That's what my mum used to do. She used to use the water from the washing machine, drain it off, and then scrub the patio. Well, I don't think I will do that like she did. But it's an idea if I wanted to use that again. So this is the darker wool, first wash as well. That water seems to be a little bit dirtier, which makes sense because it is coming from the outside. Oh, outside. It's the outer wool. So I'll show you when I have taken up the last bit out. So just let it dry for a bit. And we'll fill the buckets again for the second wash, which will most certainly be cleaner. So this is the water from the darker, so you can see there's a slight difference. So, ready for the next wash. Right, time to check how the second wash has worked out. Let's see. Water is a lot clearer than it was previous time around. But it's not completely clear. So I'm going to take this out first. This is what it looks like now. So I am going to wash it once more. And the other one. So that looks like this. So I'm going to do another wash and then let's see what it looks like. As you can see, it is starting to get dark, and this is the last wash I have done in detergent because the water is clear enough, and I will only give it a rinse after this, and then it's time to let it dry. But as it's getting quite dark, I will show you in the next video, which will be tomorrow, when I'll video it, that the wool is actually drying and how I do that. So I'm going to just take this up. So this is it. Just a little milky and maybe slightly creamy still, but after a rinse it'll be fine. So I'm going to wash it to take the other out as well, and that's it for today. New day. Time for the next step. I have taken my old polytunnel door out of the shed, on which I have put chicken wire. It's not the most fantastic solution, but it'll do the job, because I'm going to dry the wool on this rack. So I took it from the rinsing bath just there, and I'm now just going to place it over this rack. There's a nice breeze today, so, and a bit of sunshine. Understand that it's good. So just transferred it onto this. These I'm not going to get rid of them because as it gets so windy, I probably have to place them on top, otherwise my wool will be flying over the garden. Now, and what I probably will do is sometime during the day I'll turn this so there's not an awful lot of vegetable matter in it anymore, so spread it out a little bit more and ready to dry. There we go, drying in the garden. Okay, you see the difference between the two colours. It's amazing. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon, and after washing and sorting my sheep's wool, I've picked most of it, and it's time to start carding it. I got these carding brushes, and I am now going to show you how that's done. I have carded a bit already, as you can see here in this basket. Looks delicious, doesn't it? It's just beautiful. This is the white Suffolk from the Suffolk sheep, and this is a darker brown, and that's a lighter brown, just because this from the brown sheep, of which I don't know the breed yet, but I'll find out before I'll release this video. The darker is the outer tips of the sheep's wool, and the lighter is the inner, so closer to the skin. There is not a lot of the dark fiber because they're very short, and so I can only use a little bit, otherwise it's impossible to spin. And this is already quite short, so it will be a challenge to spin it nicely. But I'm thinking I might blend it a little bit with the darker. It depends. I have to see which pattern I'm going to knit the two things I have in mind in. So we'll start off by carding some of the dark wool, and I've put some of the wool on my brush already, and I'll show you in a bit how I did that. But anyway, I have two brushes, and I'm now just going to carefully brush it off the one. So you see it's all coming off the one brush. When I was in the Sheeps and Wool Centre earlier this year, Seamus, who works there as a tour guide, he explained how it's like a plane landing on a landing strip, and you're only touching the ground before you continue. So I don't have to brush it an awful lot of times because it is actually it's quite clean. Whatever dirt is still in there, it will fall on the table, and as I'm outside I'll just brush it off, and I'll brush the strip later on. But it's all quite clean. So last time I could do with 2 times, but 3 times is okay as well. That's it. That's now ready to take off, and I'm gonna diz it off. I'll show you that. So to diz it off, to take it off the brush, I have put the brush just here on the table, and I've fixed it with a wood clamp, and I've picked up my crochet needle, and I'm going to stick that through one of the buttonholes. Because I don't have an official diz, I use a button. I'll get a diz at some stage. Maybe I'll ask someone to make it for me. So now I'm going to simply pull this through so that a number of the fibers are coming together, and I'll get this lovely roving. Not too much at the same time. And I can notice that the hairs are quite short, because to be careful that it doesn't come through all at the same time or that it breaks. But as you can see, I'm now starting to get this lovely roving. So I'll continue that, and I'll do the same with some of the lighter wool. So when I was carding the wool, I used my wool carders, these two. You've seen that in the videos. That's one way of preparing your wool, but another way to prepare your wool for spinning is combing. And during the process, these combs that I had ordered from Ukraine arrived. It had taken a long time for them to arrive. Obviously not easy to ship stuff from Ukraine with the whole situation that's going on over there. But when I got those, I thought I must also try to prepare some of that same wool for spinning using these. And the result was that I got a much finer yarn or finer fiber, and you'll be able to see how I did that in the next video. I am spinning some of the darker fibre, and what I'm noticing is exactly what I was experiencing when I was cleaning the wool. The fibres are really quite short, so I can't do a very long draft on this wool when spinning it. I have to be careful that it doesn't break. Now, it is beautiful and soft, and this is the pure dark brown wool that I separated from the other fibres. I'm spinning this a little bit thicker, so I'm hoping to get something like Aran weight when I ply it with another strand of wool. Initially I thought I want to spin a bit of 2-ply in the dark brown, but I simply don't have enough from the really dark brown, as there wasn't enough quality dark fibre in the fleece. So therefore I'm going to ply this with a slightly lighter one, and I'll get a nice marled effect. I'll show you in a moment what it looks like on the bobbin. So from the top down, you can see here I am spinning some of my dark brown wool. So after spinning, this is what I got. So the wool that you just saw me spinning on that last video is this little bobbin with the dark brown wool. And this is only a 1-ply. Because I only had so much of that really dark wool, I won't be able to create a whole skein with this. This is the only kind of high quality dark wool that came from that fleece. But I was able to mix some of it and twine it then, or ply it then with a lighter bit of wool. So this is one of my 2 skeins that I managed to spin and ply, and this is the second one. So both are kind of bulky weight. I measured the distance and the yarn length, and I weighed it, and I worked out that, and I have my little notes here. The darker one is let me see, is about 40 grams, 73.44 meters, and it works out as a super bulky. And the lighter one, it's a bit more, or it's a bit heavier, it's 59 grams, and it works out at 76 meters. So the 2 of them together, just over 150 meters, if I'm correct, or around 150 meters. It's probably not enough for a hat. It might be, I'll have to see, but I'll spin up a little bit more. This is not the last step in the whole process. There's one more step I have to do, and that is to give these last little soak in cool water with a drop of detergent. Now, they don't smell of wool, of lanolin anymore, because I had washed the wool already, but it will just, you know, set the wool once you give them a soak, once you give this a soak, and it will just smooth everything out that might be still a little bit uneven. And then of course I will knit something with it, and that is something that I'm going to show you in one of my next episodes. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and the whole process. If you enjoyed it, it would be fantastic if you could give this video a like, and if you'd like to see more of what I create on this channel, just subscribe to my channel and you'll be notified once I have a new video up. You can also follow me on Instagram. My handle is just here, and you'll see some of my day-to-day activities when it comes to wool. It is a hobby, sometimes a little bit more than a hobby and a bit of work, but it is definitely something that I enjoy so much, and I hope you do the same. Happy knitting, happy spinning, and hopefully see you the next time. Bye.